un email. Pero if you were to go on the Blackboard site, I believe I put a copy of the syllabus. So if you lose your paper one, you only get one for free. All right, the second one you have to print out yourself. All right. We haven't used any slides yet, but I did record myself on the first day, and I put that there should be a tab that says lectures. All right, so that if you do happen to miss a day, if you do happen to come down with COVID and have to isolate, you know, you could still follow along. Or if you just really like the sound of my voice and are like, Santos, you put me to sleep in class, it works at 10 p.m. too. I just put your lecture on and boom, I'm gone. Then you're welcome, okay? No, but for reals though, if there's like a concept that you missed and you need to go over it, you can just go back and be like, okay, I totally did not get that part about to and usted, which is where we're starting today. You know, so I'm gonna, you know, just listen to it over again and see if I can grasp it. All right, so you don't like need your Libros 100% today, but if you do have it, okay, por favor, if you could open up to page dos, okay? Like I said, not 100% necessary, but slightly helpful, okay? I'll try to keep this out of your way. Don't worry, it's just me, it's not recording you. All right, and I'd like to go through some simple greetings and whatnot, and other phrases in Espanol. We introduced ourselves el Monday, el lunes, and we went through one or two quick things, but now we're going to get into, like I said, some of the basic greetings and other things. But before we jump into that, we do have to point out one difference between Inglés and Espanol when it comes to talking to people. All right. Now, normally, in English, when you're talking to someone, we use the pronoun you. Okay. If I say, I need you to write this down. Okay. I need you to be quiet. Okay. Or even if I look at Fatima and say, sit down. All right. I didn't use the word you, but what I mean is you sit down. Okay. Now, in Espanol, and if you've studied German, if you've studied French, if you've studied a couple other Western languages, we have the same thing, all right? Where in this case, the word tú, okay, and the word usted both mean you, okay? Now, those of you that have taken Espanol before, if you remember, what is the difference between tú and usted?
Usted is it for a group?
Not quite. Oh, not quite. Lo siento.
The top one, that one's informal, and it's formal. Usted.
Okay, yeah. We'll get to singular and plural in un momento, because you're kind of half right. But yes, it is formal and informal. Okay? I like to say familiar, but that's just Santos. If you want to call it informal, that's fine. Okay? And of course, usted is formal. All right? So what do we mean by that specifically? Well, it depends on who you are talking to. Okay? It not only dictates what you call them, okay? Because I can look and say you, all right? But in Spanish, certain things would tell me that I would either call her tú or call her usted, okay? Not only that, but it literally dictates how you formulate your questions and your responses and other things when you're talking to people, all right? So, tú, we'll go with the, we'll go with the familiar one. Tú, you use it with friends and family, okay? So basically, people that you know, people that you're close to, okay? Your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, your parents, your friend that you've known since kindergarten, all right? Things of that nature, okay? Now, this is kind of why I like to call it the familiar, because family, think familiar, family, familiar, family. Okay, so people you're close to. The next group are your peers. Okay, what is a peer? How would you define it? There's no wrong answer. Unless you say it's where you park a boat, then yeah, that's wrong.
Like us, we're all like-minded people that are along the same age range, we're doing the same things.
Okay, all right. Did you have a?
And us in this room as students.
Okay,
Yeah, I was gonna say like a group of people are on the same level, pretty much.
all right. Yeah, you're all like there. Okay. I like to think of it as people who are sharing an experience, or whether it be age, whether it be whatever. Okay. And for the next 14 weeks or so, what's the one thing you're all sharing? Spanish class. Okay. Yeah. You all have to suffer with Senor Santos. All right. That's your common experience. That's your shared experience. That's what you have, that unites you. Okay. And so, even though, okay, I'm going to ask Fatima, do you know Kyle? No. Okay. I mean, if you do, but Steph, say no. Do you know her? No. All right. They don't know each other, but so they're not friends. Okay. As far as you don't look related. Okay. I mean, could be some crazy DNA stuff going on, but you don't look related. By the fact that they're peers, they are sharing this Spanish class for the next 14 weeks, they could address each other in the familiar, okay, in the informal, all right? Anybody who is visibly younger than you. Okay. Now, I write the word visibly because it's not as if, well, dude, you're 18 and I'm 19, so I'm older. No, you're the same age. Okay. Trust me, from my perspective, you guys are the same age. All right. So in this case, I'm looking just to make sure I'm here. Don't be scared. All right, I'll do this for a second. I am way older than pretty much anyone in this room. Okay. Probably twice your age. Maybe, I don't know. You look really young. Maybe 3 times your age. You're like, Santos, I'm 30. No. But no, I'm old. Okay. I'm like her dad's age. All right. So yeah. Okay. So to me, you're not my friends. You're not my family. I'm the teacher though. So we don't have anything in common. But all of you are visibly younger, so I would address you in the familiar, even though I don't know you. For you guys, okay, if you saw a 10-year-old, let's say, a 10-year-old looks visibly younger than every single one of you, okay? If you saw a 10-year-old, and obviously, it's not like your little brother or your cousin, so they're not family, they're not your friend, unless they're a super genius, you're not taking a class with them, you can address them in the familiar. Okay. Now this next one, if you can do better, I welcome you to come up, but my drawing is horrible. All right. So this is a person up on a pedestal. Oh no, gotta do it this way. Any unequal relationship where you're like superior in some way, all right? You're like, I get it now. Santos, that was a really weird drawing. I am your teacher. I am the Spanish master as far as you're concerned. You guys are the students, okay? I will address you as tú, all right? Your doctor, who is a medical specialist. You are a patient, and no, your YouTube research doesn't count. Will address you as tú, okay? Whatever your religion may be, okay, your minister, your priest, your rabbi, your pastor, whatever, they're up here spiritually, you're the flock, the congregation. They address you as tú, all right? You see what I'm saying, hopefully. Okay, so yeah, I don't look down on you, but I am better at Spanish. All right, so you address them as tú. Okay, and the last one's my favorite. That's why I keep it special over here. Okay, specifically pets, but it can be any animals. When you tell your dog to quit barking, when you tell your cat to get off the furniture, when you tell your goldfish good morning, you typically address pets in the familiar. Okay, I've actually heard people do it in the formal, and it just sounds weird. Really, it sounds kind of odd. It's a really weird, hard way to explain. Okay, so these are the people with whom you use tú. Okay, usted. Just flip it around. It's the opposite. Okay? I'm going to do blue for that one. Okay? Friends and family? Well, strangers. Or someone that you literally just met. Oops, not jut. I cannot spell in English, boy. You just met someone. Okay? So, even though all of you are peers, for the most part, some of you just met each other on Monday. Some of you, probably forgot who everyone in the class was, and now you're meeting each other, okay? Or you signed up late, so now you're just meeting everyone for the first time, okay? So you can use usted, okay, for that, all right? Any kind of professional or business relationship, okay? And it doesn't matter if you are at a big company and you wear a suit and tie, or if you're literally the cashier at Target, okay? Any kind of business interaction is typically done in the usted. So, and por favor, what was your name again?
Joshua.
Joshua is my cashier at Target, and
I work at Price Chopper if you want to use that one.
Okay, even better. He's the cashier at Price Chopper, and it must be like in the training video. Did you find everything you were looking for? It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you find? I go to Target. I'm I wasn't even looking for any of this shit. All right. So yes, I found more than what I was looking for. If he were to do that to me in Spanish, did usted find everything that usted was looking for? Okay, we're doing it in Spanglish, all right? Because yes, it is a business relationship. It is a business transaction, okay? He is the cashier, all right? He is helping me as a customer, and so, did usted find everything okay? Sí, gracias, usted, and I would, even though he looks, I don't know what, 17, 18?
19.
Sorry, 19. It's the mask. Even though he looks 19, I would still address him as usted. All right, even though I'm older than him and all this other stuff. Okay, because it is a business transaction, a business relationship. When I say professional, because a lot of people would ask me, and I can pick on Lauren really quick. I'm sure you noticed her dad teaches here. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out. If I were to talk to her dad in Spanish, we would treat each other in the usted. Even though he knows my first name, I know his first name, we've talked before. We've both worked here for a number of years. As a professional relationship, we still treat each other as usted if we are speaking Spanish.
Would that apply to doctors too?
Yes.
And lawyers, stuff like that?
Yeah.
Other professionals.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you go out afterwards and you have a beer or whatever or stuff like that, then yes, you can switch to the informal because you're no longer in a business or a professional setting. But
do Spanish speakers actually do that?
yeah, we drink beer.
No, I meant if they're close with someone inside of work, do they actually switch the form that they're talking to them?
I do, but I'm weird. But I have met a lot of people that don't. They'll still use the familiar. If they are in front of customers, they will switch to the formal. So like if we work together, like I'd use the familiar, but as soon as someone came up to the register, then it'd be like, hey, usted, bag this for him, and whereas before we'd be like, hey, tú, we'd be like, doing whatever, okay? And once again, I mean, I know you guys are laughing and kind of giggling, because in English you don't do that, but that's part of learning a second language, is learning to think in it too. And you do make that, and it's funny because you actually make the switch automatically. Sometimes you don't even think about it. Yeah, you don't even think about it. It's like, yeah, we're hanging out, we're talking, we're bullshitting each other, and then suddenly, oh, here's a customer, okay, and then it's like, hola, ¿cómo está usted? Gracias, usted puede, suddenly it's like, ooh, usted. All right, we got fancy all of a sudden. All right, so see. Okay, good question. The next, then, the opposite, if you address someone visibly younger, then it is visibly older. Okay? So once again, it's not like, damn it, I want to say Zach, Joshua. Wait, which one are you? Joshua. It's not as if Joshua here, oh, I'm 19 and Santos is 20, so now I have to address him as usted. No, 19 and 20s and 18s, you're all the same, okay? Sorry, no offense. All right, but you're pretty much the same. But once again, random old guy on the street, okay? You use usted, and it's actually a form of respect. Okay, so if Joshua here as a 19-year-old that looks a little younger would suddenly just be like, hey, tú, I'd be a little like, who do you think you are? Like, I'm obviously like twice your age, and you're addressing me in the familiar. Like, what the hell? So anybody who's visibly older than you. Once again, turning it around to you guys. If a 10-year-old were to come up to you, they would probably address you in the formal because, all of you look older than 10, all right? And so, yes, they would be like, oh, the first time someone used usted with me, I think I must have been 16, and it was like a little 8-year-old, and I'm just like, damn right, I'm usted. Finally, I get to be the superior one, all right? I'm usted, all right? I deserve some respect for being a teenager. All right, type of thing. But yes, anyone visibly older, all right, you would address in the usted form, okay? When it comes to this uneven relationship then, okay, once again, I'm gonna try here. Let's see, I'm pretty bad. All right, so if you are looking up at someone, whatever. You know what I'm trying to do, okay? So you, as the students, and students in general, address their teachers, as you said, okay? If you're the patient, you address your doctor as usted, okay? If you are the, I guess the word is congregant, you address your priest, your minister, your rabbi, your whoever leads your church as usted, okay? And so on and so forth. It was like angels, like we're, yay. All right. I like that heart. Keep playing it. All right. Anyways, so yeah, okay? So in this case then, I, as your teacher, okay, you would address me as usted, even if I wasn't just some random old guy, okay? I am your teacher, okay? When you go to your dentist appointment this afternoon, and if you were speaking Spanish, you would address your dentist as usted, okay? And so on, all right? There's unfortunately no opposite for pets or animals. Unless you're talking like wild animals, I know I would probably talk to a grizzly bear instead, just because, you're supposed to like cower before it so it doesn't attack you. What?
Please don't eat me.
Yeah, please don't eat meat instead. But otherwise, no. Typically, there's no opposite one for that. All right? So, why the big deal? Okay? Well, like I said, depending on who you're talking to, it will dictate then what you say to the person. So, For example, we're going to practice un poquito hablar hoy. Clase, please repeat. ¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Oh, you can do better. ¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Muy bien. ¿Cómo te llamas means what's your name? But it is in the familiar. So, I really hope you know your friend's name. All right, so we're going to skip that one. With family, maybe it's a cousin you only see every 3 years at the family reunion. So, like, I know we're related, but ¿cómo te llamas? Like, what is your name? I know you're one of my cousins. I just don't know which one. Okay, type of thing. Or even I can remember like being very young and actually asking my parents, like, so what is your name? I know it's not mom or dad. I know like the grown-ups call you something else. So ¿cómo te llamas? Okay. Peers, this is the one that applies to you mostly. Like I said, most of you do not know each other outside of this class. I think I asked Fatima and Kyle. They don't know each other, so if they wanted to get to know each other, ¿cómo te llamas? What's your name? Okay? Because you are peers, because you are classmates, it's okay to ask in the familiar. Okay? I forget your name because I am old and my memory's slipping, so I might say, ¿Cómo te llamas? Like, what's your name? Or, oh, girl in the back, ¿Cómo te llamas? What's your name? Okay? Because you are visibly younger, all right? And of course, turning it around back to you guys, this 10-year-old comes up and bothers you, and you're just like, who are you? ¿Cómo te llamas? Like, who the hell are you? I'm 19, leave me alone, all right? I don't hang out with 10-year-olds. And then, of course, finally, all right, and this is the one that also applies to us. I'm your teacher, you're my student. ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? I will address you in the familiar. I know I erased it, but you encounter a random puppy in the park, and you're like, ¿Cómo te llamas? Or trying to read its tag, ¿Cómo te llamas? What's your name? Okay? Now, oops, sorry, there are so many punctuations. I hate missing. Clase, repeat. ¿Cómo se llama?
¿Cómo se llama?
¿Cómo se llama usted?
¿Cómo se llama usted?
Both of those mean, what is your name? And both of them are in the formal. Okay? Now the difference, if you recall the other day, I pointed out that there are variations in the way Spanish is spoken. There are 21 countries where Spanish is an official language. Anyone remember my background?
You were born in California, but your parents are from Mexico.
Okay, Mexico would have been fine, but yes. Okay, my Spanish is predominantly Mexican. And so, Santos, my girlfriend's Puerto Rican, and you talk nothing like her. Okay, because she's Puerto Rican, I'm Mexican, okay? And so in some places, they will just say, ¿Cómo se llama? In some places, they will say, ¿Cómo se llama usted? All right, please don't ask me to point out which one is which, because there's 21, come on. There's quite a few. You pick one and just go with it, all right? Everybody understands, all right? It's just a very slight, like, sentence difference, okay, that is typically insignificant, all right? So, obviously, you just met someone, they're a complete stranger. Oh, hey, what's your name? ¿Cómo se llama? Okay? Either in a business transaction or as colleagues. ¿Cómo se llama usted? Like, you were literally just hired yesterday. ¿Cómo se llama usted? Okay, so what is your name? Okay? Old guy, all right? You don't know who I am. ¿Cómo se llama usted? All right, what's your name? Okay? Or, of course, this 10-year-old kid comes up to you and sees this strong and mature-looking 19-year-old and says, ¿Cómo se llama usted? Okay, what is your name? Of course, I'm still your teacher, and even though you remember one or two things about me, you completely forgot my name. And so you say, ¿Cómo se llama usted, profesor? Professor, what's your name again? Oh, me llamo Señor Santos, okay? To ask somebody's name, all right? Preguntas, questions. All right, the answer is the same no matter what. And you guys did this on Monday. Me llamo, and then your name. So if someone says to you, ¿Cómo te llamas?, you answer that way. If someone says, ¿Cómo se llama?, you answer, ¿Cómo se llama usted? Okay, the answer is the same. All right. So what I would like you to do is take about 2 or 3 seconds, because that is literally all it will take. Turn to someone, hopefully someone you don't know, but if you know them, oh well, and find out their name en español. Go. Español, español, español. Español, español.
Me llamo Carter. ¿Cómo te llamas?
All right. Yeah, you guys are shy for now, but don't worry. Muy bien. Okay, so clase, and this is like my own tricky way of remembering your name. ¿Cómo te llamas, señorita? Madison. All right, mucho gusto, Madison. Y señor, ¿cómo te llamas?
Me llamo Carter.
Carter. Okay, mucho gusto, Carter. Señor, ¿cómo te llamas? Me llamo Jeter. 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 Mucho gusto. We're going to give you a Spanish name. Okay, I'll put that like Paco. You look like a Paco.
I'll take a Paco.
Paco. All right, muy bien. Señor, ¿cómo te llamas?
Me llamo
Kyle. Kylo. All right, because there's no Kyle in this one. Señor, ¿cómo te llamas?
Me llamo Juan.
Juan. Okay, that's right, Jonathan. So Juan, Juanathan. All right, we'll go with Juan. Yes, I know. I will call you Juanathan. All right, so we'll go with Juan. All right, señorita, ¿cómo te llamas?
Me llamo Fatima.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna say Fatima. That's just the way I read it because it's actually a Spanish name, Fatima.
Yeah, it is. And when you say in Arabic, it's the same way.
Fatima?
But, yeah, but then like, since I'm in America, they say Fatima.
Which do you prefer?
I don't really care.
You don't care. All right,
Yeah,
Fatima.
when I'm home, I'm Fatima here.
Well, you are home here. All right. So Fatima. All right. Muy bien. Do you mind if I ask what your heritage is?
I'm Iraqi, but my grandpa was Guatemalan. But I
was gonna say, how did that happen?
No. Okay, so
Guatemala and Iraq are really far away.
My mom, she my grandma, she married a Guatemalan man,
Mhm.
but then he was in my mom's life for like 0.2 seconds.
Oh, okay.
So,
Oh, one of those things. Okay.
yeah.
All right. All right, I get it now. Okay.
My dad is Iraqi too, so I just say Iraqi since I don't know Spanish. I don't have any Spanish. family.
Well, I mean, it's only like what 1/4 of you that's Guatemalan,
Yeah.
so that's okay. So see, no wonder you look Latina. All right, so it must be the Guatemalan part. All right, so muy bien. Señorita, next to Fatima, ¿cómo te llamas? Me llamo. Me llamo Lauren. Okay, muy bien. Señor, ¿cómo te llamas?
Me llamo Zacarias.
Zacarías. Muy bien.
Yes.
Oh, and he went with the Spanish too. Señor, ¿cómo te llamas?
Me llamo Joshua.
Joshua. Excelente. Y señorita, ¿cómo te llamas?
Me llamo
Pasar. All right. Muy bien. Mucho tiempo. All right. So, moving on. And if you needed that, it is actually I lied to you. It's actually on page 3. I said page 2. So if you're following along, okay, it's on page 3, the preguntas informales, informal questions, and preguntas formales, formal questions, okay? Let's do one more of these, okay? But don't worry, there's plenty to work on, all right? And it's the other answer that you gave me on Monday. Okay? All right. Clase, please repeat. ¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
Yes. ¿De dónde eres means where are you from? Okay? Now, once again, ¿de dónde eres is the informal way of saying it. Okay? So maybe you are friends with someone. You just don't know where they're from. Kind of weird, but so you ask them, hey, amigo, ¿de dónde eres? Okay? Same thing with family. Maybe you never knew your grandpa's history. So you ask them, ¿de dónde eres? Where are you from? Or a cousin or whatever. Okay? Obviously, the one that applies the most to all y'all's here today, peers, okay? You're getting to know each other. So, hey, ¿de dónde eres? ¿De dónde eres? ¿De dónde eres? ¿De dónde eres? Okay, where are you from? All right? I see you, okay, as younger people, ¿de dónde eres? Or, once again, 10-year-old that won't leave you alone. Where the hell are you from? ¿De dónde eres? Okay?
Just going back a second, so te and say are the informal and formal way of addressing someone in a sentence, but why did we put usted at the end of that last one?
Just because in some countries they will include the
Oh,
pronoun,
okay.
and in others they won't.
Because I was like, wait, isn't that the whole point of what you said there?
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, it's just different sentence structure depending on where a person's from. Okay. I'm your teacher. You're my student. ¿De dónde eres? Your doctor might ask you, ¿de dónde eres? Okay, etc., etc. And then of course, lost puppy. Oh, where did you come from? You know, ¿de dónde eres? All right, and stuff. Okay. You know what? I'm going to save me some room here and just put usted in parentheses, meaning that it is okay whether you use it or not. Clase, ¿de dónde es?
¿De dónde es?
Please repeat. ¿De dónde es? ¿De dónde es usted?
¿De dónde es usted?
That is where are you from in the informal. Okay? Makes sense. You're strangers you just met. You're getting to know each other. Find out where they're from. Sí.
Informal, right? So informal.
Gracias. Sí, el formal. The formal. You just met a new employee. You're giving them an orientation. I don't know what kind of business well, I guess if certain business transactions, you would need to know where they're from. If you go to Price Chopper and he asks you where you're from, don't answer him. It's a trick. All right. He's trying to get your your recovery password covered. So where are you from? ¿De dónde es usted? California. Okay. What was the street you grew up on? Okay. Visibly older. Okay. So all y'all's forgot where Santos is from. All right. ¿De dónde es usted? Or of course, me as your teacher. All right. You forgot. So Senor Santos, ¿de dónde es? Where are you from? Okay. And then of course we did this on Monday. The answer is the same no matter what, and I still can't spell. Soy de, and then the place. Okay? So take un momento, turn to whoever you talked to before, and find out where they are from. ¿De dónde eres? Or ¿de dónde es usted? Español.
Soy de
Okay, so, Marisona, ¿de dónde eres?
Soy de Holland.
De HP, de Holland Patent. Okay. Señorita, ¿de dónde eres?
Soy de
De Utica, muy bien. Señor, ¿de dónde eres?
Soy de Barneveld.
The Barneveld?
Barneveld?
No, but I'm asking.
Oh,
Barneveld.
yes, yes.
Sorry, no, I really am old. All right, here
Okay.
it's going. All right, so just clearing it up. Fatima, ¿de dónde eres?
So they Detroit.
De Detroit.
How do you say Iraq in Spanish?
Iraq,
Iraq.
but we spell it with a K instead of a Q.
That's confusing.
You're like, why K? I don't know. We don't like Q's in Spanish. Funny story though, we do have the letter Q in Spanish, but we don't use it for anything. It's just there.
So when asking this, does it mean like where you're from, like where you live now, or where you're from originally?
Like where you're from originally. Because it's more than likely that you'll get asked this, or you'll be asking this while you're somewhere in Colombia. So they'll be like, all right, tall, blondish, white guy, ¿de dónde eres?
North Carolina.
Soy de North Carolina.
So I didn't.
Okay, está bien, all right. Kyle, ¿de dónde eres?
Soy de University Falls.
De Oriskany Falls. Carter?
Right.
¿De dónde eres?
Soy de Utica.
De Utica, muy bien. Jeter, or Paco, ¿de dónde eres?
So,
Soy de Lewis County.
De Lewis, that's the one up north, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, muy bien, excelente. Y Lauren, ¿de dónde eres? De Utica. Okay, muy bien. All right. If you have your book, and if you look on page 2, all right, and I'm going to go with a different slide here. You will notice, and I did it kind of on purpose and sometimes kind of on accident. En español, we use titles a bit more often than we do in English. Okay. Now there are going to be a couple of other ones that I teach you, but for now, and it's the very bottom of the blue box where it says títulos, titles. Okay. What does señor mean? Mister. Okay, that is our you addressed a gentleman, so señor, 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 señor. Okay. For the ladies, we have two different ones. Okay. We have señorita. What does señorita mean?
Yes.
Miss. Okay. And we have señora. What does señora mean? No. Mrs. I'm going to put MRS, because that's the common abbreviation. Now, which brings us to an interesting point, okay? When you're using Mr. in both English and Spanish, señor, there is no indication of a marital status, okay? Miss, on the other hand, for the ladies, indicates what? Non-married, not married, unmarried, whatever the term is. What does Mrs. indicate? Married, okay? Now, I'll be doing this a lot during the semester. Ladies, I will be apologizing to you quite a bit because unfortunately Spanish is a very, very, very chauvinistic language. And so most of the nouns and pronouns and titles and whatnot tend to favor the masculine form, all right? There is no Ms. Okay? First off, though, what does Ms. mean?
Oh, wait, he just said.
Divorce?
Sorry.
That's actually correct, but that's only part of the answer. What else could it be?
A widowed or widower?
Okay, widowed. It could be single, it could be married, it could be separated. This started happening when I was in the 3rd grade, okay, I actually remember it. Ms. basically started off as none of your damn business, you know. Am I married, am I single, am I whatever. Of course, eventually it expanded to those situations. Well, what if a woman's divorced, but she kept her old last name, but she's not married to that last name anymore. You know, you had all these other things, okay? In Spanish, that does not exist, okay? Ladies, you can't keep your marital status hidden. You don't have the option of I'm widowed, I'm divorced, I'm whatever, okay? You have to pick one. And so, sometimes people will ask you, are you married? Okay? No, they're not being nosy, all right? If it's a guy, he might be flirting with you, but even if you are married, you know, we're Hispanic, we don't care. Why is he asking you if you're married?
So he knows what's the body.
Yes, to address you correctly, all right, to give you the right title, okay? Now, having said that, my mom taught me to always address women as señorita, okay? Just assume they're single, all right? If a woman is in fact married, she will correct you. Proper manners dictate that she correct you, all right? So if I call Madison señorita and she happens to be married, she'll be like, no, it's señora, gracias. Like, I have a man, all right, gracias, all right. Are you married, Madison? No, okay, you're like, I've had married students in class. Some of them were as young as 18, 19. Wait, you're only 17?
Yeah.
Well, I wish I would have known. I have to scale it back to PG-13 now. All right, so, and yeah, that would be weird if you were married. No wonder you reacted negatively. I'm just like, I've met 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds that were married. Why are you, you're like, no, I'm 17, Santos. This isn't Kentucky, this is New York. Okay, so for her, it's definitely señorita. But if you were married, all right, you would, and I have had students say, actually, Santos, it's señora. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, señora, and stuff like that, okay? Now, you can either just use it like the way I used it, if I say, oh, señorita, ¿cómo te llamas? What's your name, miss? Or, you could use it, and I'm picking on Fatima here. Oh, wait, your last name's kind of hard. I'm going to go with Lauren because I know her name. I could say like Señorita Schenk, okay? So with her last name, all right? Or, what is your last name, Madison? Oh, that one's hard too.
It's more with an English.
Yeah, no, it's still hard. So Señorita Tay, hers is easy. So yeah, okay. With your name, and of course I'm Senor Santos and Senor Yato, and et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Wait.
Are the rest of our names that hard, Senor Santos?
It's only those like kind of Bosnian-ish name. Wait, what's Mero something? I'm looking at you, Madison.
Oh, it's Polish. It's Moravian.
Yeah, it's those Eastern European names that get me. All right. Although I'm learning Bosnian names. I know that Ik is actually
Bosnian and
pronounced.
Polish are basically like borderline.
I once
Borderline.
met true story. Like I met this Polish girl, and her name like started with a T and ended with like a Q or some weird letter, and she's like, "Oh, it's pronounced Smith," and I'm just like something as ridiculous as that, and I'm just like, I don't know where you got that from, but I am going to trust you.
A lot of people spell my name with a Z at the end.
Okay.
I don't know why, but it's IEC.
I mean, if it was CZ, I could see it being Polish, but yeah, it kind of threw me off.
Yeah.
All right. Wait, Senor Bates. See, that one's easy. Senor Bates. Okay. You could either use it with the name or without. Okay. To finish off, because we have about 5 minutes. To finish off, the other day I also taught you what is adios? Goodbye. Okay? That is not the only way to bid farewell to someone. Okay? Clase, please repeat. Hasta luego. Hasta luego just means see you later. Literally, it means until later, but we translate it as see you later. Okay? Now, in English, en inglés, when you say hasta luego, are you going to see them later? I'm sorry, when you say see you later, are you going to see them later?
No.
Not necessarily, no. Okay? It's the same thing in Espanol. So don't worry that you've just committed yourself to meeting someone later on in the day. Okay? I say that because with other hastas, you say hasta and then fill it in with a point in time, and now you have literally committed yourself to seeing them. Mañana means tomorrow. So hasta mañana means see you tomorrow. Okay? Tomorrow I have office hours at 9:30, and Juan says, Mr. Santos, I need to talk to you. Can I make an appointment to see you tomorrow morning? I say, sure, just come on by at 9:30. And so when I dismiss, I'll say to Juan, hasta mañana. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay? Because I will see him tomorrow. Or, if he doesn't stand me up. All right? Viernes means Friday. Okay? Once I dismiss you, I honestly don't expect to see any one of you until Friday. I mean, not if you want to come see me tomorrow, that's fine, okay? But that's the next time I plan on it. And so I would say, hasta viernes. All right, see you Friday, okay? I will teach you how to tell time, all right? But my office hours today are from 1 to 2, all right? And, let's say Lauren wants to come in and talk to me about the class. And she says, can I just come by during your office hour today? I'm like, yeah. So, hasta la una means 1 o'clock. So, until 1 o'clock. Hasta la una. All right? But otherwise, adios and hasta luego are your 2 standard goodbyes. I'll teach you a couple more. All right? But we are almost out of time. So I will say clase hasta viernes. Yeah, let me get out. All right, hasta viernes. Hasta luego. Adios.